This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 332.
I program my own computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. We have the technology. The technology. Why, hello everybody. This is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events, and we have no WordCamps, not even online WordCamps this next weekend, sadly. And there was a big thing. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. I know I talked to somebody about this offline. Someone asked me if I've been attending any onlines, and I register for a whole bunch, and I intend to, but the difference between virtual WordCamps and in person to me is huge. And, you know, as we are all behind the computer screens or in front of a computer screen all day, every day, and to do it on the weekend, I always just find it tough to kind of get myself to do that. I'm actually going to be doing a meetup in 2 weeks, I think. It's like on the 15th, 14th of this month of July for the old meetup that I used to be a part of in Los Angeles. So it'll be on Zoom. So I will do that. It'll be late for me, but nonetheless. Anyway, but no WordCamps, upcoming events, and nothing to share there. Moving on to segment one in the news. Two things here. GiveWP released a new version, which is a major update. 2.7 came out. And I'm just a huge fan of them. They have great support, great team, really cool functionality if you're looking to add a donation plugin and raise funds for nonprofits. And we just actually I have two clients who are going with it. They are leaving this other archaic system that they were running. One was PayPal, one was some other system. This is much easier. The integrations are there. But nonetheless, GiveWP 2.7, not an advertorial spot. They're not a sponsor. I just really like the company. I like the people there. And I love the functionality. There's a lot you can do with GiveWP. So there's that. And there's a link in the show notes to showing the highlights of what's new about it and the form builder and whatnot. Pretty cool. Also, managewp.org is gone. It's not the managewp.com. It's just the community, I guess. .com was acquired by GoDaddy back in 2016, but I guess there was a forums and a community behind it as well. They have shut that down, and I think a lot of people were kind of bummed, but apparently it was getting a lot of spam, not really being useful much anymore, so there's that as well. And that is it in the news. Moving on to segment two, the meat potatoes of this week's show. We're talking WordPress Alternatives, number 4. This is the 4th iteration of this. Another month, another CMS alternative to WordPress. And we went over the big 3 in the past 3 or 4 months. Squarespace, Wix, and Weebly, my views on those. And now I'm going to do a couple lesser known ones, starting first and foremost with one called Tilda.CC. It's Tilda.CC. Have you heard of it? I don't think you have, because I hadn't, but I came across this for a speaker website a few months back as I was looking for some examples and whatnot for speakers, because I'm trying to rebuild my own site over at adamsower.com. And backupspeaker.com was almost done. Finally, that's maybe next week's topic. Ooh, that might be interesting. Anyway, I was looking at the source code. I'm like, well, what site built this? And I found that it was called Tilda. So I headed over to Tilda.CC, and I saved this for one of these upcoming episodes, and here we are. So their homepage and their tagline is, create beautiful websites without any code with Tilda. 450 pre-designed blocks make it easy to get started. And on the homepage of their site, it says basic overview, has intuitive website builder, pre-designed blocks, and a library, which sounds very familiar. It's born adaptive, meaning responsive. You create your own blocks, also sounds vaguely familiar. And then further down the page, they talk about integrations, Slack, email providers like MailChimp and ConvertKit, and payments, e-commerce, Stripe, and PayPal. So with that said, here is my take on it. I went ahead and wanted to build my buddy's real estate site, as I've done for all other services, and I continue to do all year. I created a new account, which is free. There are 3 levels, by the way, and we'll talk about pricing at the end. It was relatively simple to sign up, no credit card required, which is cool. I added a name to the site, which is only used for internal use. It's not going to be part of the domain or anything. It's just like you can call it, CB Real Estate. That's what I've been calling everything. The next window is very clean. There's some circle blinkers around the focus areas they want you to kind of look at, or help tutorials, site settings, and create a new page. When you hover over those areas, you get a tooltip and and then the animation of that blinking circle stops. So it tells you what goes on here. So in the middle of the page, it says there are no pages on your website. add your first page by clicking the button, create new page, which, okay. But before I did that, I actually checked out the settings. It's a long list on the left-hand side of that website. And, there's just a lot going on there. But, for example, some of the options there were homepage, domain settings, analytics, SEO. You can export forms, payment systems, header, footer, actions. The list goes on. It was probably 15, 20 things there, which I thought was interesting in the settings area alone. But the next up, I did want to create a new page, and so I did that. I clicked the button, and I'm given 6 main categories for templates across the top: biz, store, events, blog, contacts, form, and I can search for a keyword. And I went right to the search because I wanted to search for real estate, as that, again, is the theme here. 2 that came up, I selected one of them called apartment. I don't know why it had it twice. I'm thinking it might be a mistake or a bug. I don't know. Up came a new page. And hovering around, it's like the page is like a preset template. That's pretty much what it is, just a template. And the areas are highlighted. Each section has a settings and a content box upon hovering, which reminds me a lot of Beaver Builder, with a gear and rows for the columns. And I also noticed next to the settings and content boxes, there was a letter plus number combo, like A2401 had a drop down. I was kind of wondering, what is that? And it turns out there are different templates for that section block. Again, very familiar in the sense of if you have templates from a third-party company on Beaver Builder, for example, you can do the same thing. They don't have these numbers there, but you can append or replace the content. So clicking what looks like an H1 text on the hero image, easy to change. Again, like in the body of the website. Highlighting text was easy to link to other sites and locations. And again, fairly comfortable, but pretty simple looking. I mean, very easy to move around the site. It was actually pretty clean. I was actually somewhat surprised by that for some reason. I don't know. But I want to see how would it be if I wanted to build a site from scratch, a blank slate, as I've also done. So I did a new page again. This time it was blank. And I'm presented with a bunch of blocks: cover, medium, title, lead, text, impact, image, gallery, and line. And it was fairly easy to add the blocks. Clicking the button that said more blocks is where I found the e-commerce and order forms, and but they're grayed out, which I thought was interesting because they cost extra. They were like on the more was title, link, footer, video, store, team, reviews, contact, services, plans, partners, and there was just stuff there that you couldn't get to. You could see it, but you couldn't add it because you had to have an upgraded plan. Which leads me to this, the plans and pricing. The plan, there's a free level, and there's a personal level for $10 a month, billed annually for 1 site, business plan for $20 a month, also billed annually for 5 sites. I think the monthly plans are a little bit higher. And you can only export. I mean, you can export your site as a static website, only available on business plan and above, which I thought was interesting. And on the free level, you're going to have the branding on the bottom. I think it's in the footer. It's going to say site by Tilda.CC. So kind of like how if you had a free level at WordPress.com, you're going to have WordPress.com inside that URL unless you bought the domain. So you could also bring in your own domain with them as well and then move it around if you needed to. So my take on this and my overall, walk away, actually not terrible, pretty quick, pretty simple. Reminded me very much like Squarespace. I'm not sure who they're going after because I had never heard of them. I just found this one speaker website. So I'm guessing they're a much, much smaller player at the moment. But relatively quick, simple. But the fact that they have the updates, like anything else, there's always the add-ons. It's free. They get you in, give you a taste, and then you want a little bit more, you got to pay more, which makes sense, I guess. So, am I switching? Well, clearly I'm not switching. I'm just doing this to kind of give you an idea of what else is out there. I think actually for the free level, if you just needed a quick way to get 1 page up, or a couple pages, some content, you don't mind having something on the bottom. There's no plugins, no themes to worry about, no updates. May not be a terrible idea for somebody looking to do a basic brochure site with no credit card on file, no big worries there. You have to go buy your own domain. It's going to be a little bit technical to connect that. I think there's some steps there, and their documentation looked pretty robust. I didn't go too deep in it though. So there you have it. Again, if you're looking for an alternative, Tilda.CC. I don't think anybody in my audience is going to be moving away anytime soon, but maybe if you have a client that doesn't want to deal with or doesn't want to spend the time to either hire you to pay you what you're worth, maybe you refer them to this as an option. Okay, so that is it for this week. Moving on to tip and tool of the week. As I do love to read, and if I'm toying with writing and updating one of my ebooks, actually, this actually worked out just this time. It was really good. This was sent in by my friend Elisa. She suggested, and she found a site called PressBooks. It's over at PressBooks.com. They have plans for educational institutions, faculty authors and self-publishers, and I would be a self-publisher. There's a free level, so you can do 5 megs of storage, create a book, revise, export, and preview files. There's ebook pro, PDF, and ebook, a couple different levels there. As for free, up to $100, one time per book kind of thing. So check it out, PressBooks.com, if you're looking to do some type of ebook content creation. Might be worth your while. All right, that is it for this week. Let me wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead and send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use the speak pipe function on the website. If you want to support the show, I would love that. Patreon is awesome for that. KitchenSink.com/Patreon. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do that too. Form on the website. Thanks so much for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. Bye-bye.